All right, getting into the video here. As you can tell by on your screen, we got 3 more teams that are not definitely going to miss the playoffs, but they have the potential to miss the playoffs for sure, just based on things in their division / conference and maybe things going on with their team. So we got three more teams for you guys here. Before we jump into it, make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, turn that notification bell on so you're notified anytime that we upload a video.
And comment what your opinion is.
Exactly.
So, yeah, we'll get into it. We'll kind of explain what we mean by this.
Yes.
With this first one, we're gonna hit some points, right? So,
Yes.
Hey, those jerseys are clean though.
Those are clean,
Yes.
best retros in the league.
Falcons.
No.
So could miss the playoffs, like
They're
teams that are
expected to be within the playoff, realm
right.
this year, but they could potentially miss out.
Like could miss out, and then why we think that there's a chance that they can miss out, right? And Mikey can take the Patriots away. He that is his team. He knows all about it, and as much as he doesn't want to admit it, when you get him rational, he understands.
Oh, I mean, I voted for this to be in the video.
He wrote all the bullet points too.
I did write all the bullet points. I know there's not many here, but I mean, the first 2 on this list, being young and inexperienced on defense, that is going to be one of our major killers for this upcoming season. I mean, we lost Dante Hightower, we lost Kyle Van Noy, we lost J.C. Jackson, Devin McCourty's getting old. Like, our defense that was old is gone, minus Devin McCourty, he's still here. But now you have to replace those guys that had the experience, that knew how to play in that system very well, and you have to replace them with guys that obviously haven't played. Like Mack Wilson coming over from the Browns. He played off and on with the Browns, wasn't the greatest, but he has to come in and try and fit in for a spot where like Kyle Van Noy was, or Dante Hightower, depending on how they play him, with Cameron McGrone, who's technically a second-year player but didn't play a snap last year because he had a knee injury or something. He kept him out from playing all last year. So now he has to try and step up and take over Dante Hightower's spot and try and be a leader on that defense how he hasn't even played in yet. And then you have Jonathan Jones coming back, who's also getting older. I think he's like 28, 29, maybe somewhere in that range. He could even be 30. I can't remember off the top of my head right now. But, I mean, he's coming in and being our best corner, and he's our slot corner. He's a dime corner. I mean, like, and then you also have Terrence Mitchell from the Texans, right?
And the Browns.
And the Browns, yeah.
Yep, Browns, Texans.
Yep.
So you guys.
So then, like, you have him coming in, and the Jones bros that we drafted in Marcus Jones and oh geez, who's the other guy from Arizona State? Jack Jones.
On the top of my head.
Jack Jones, he's right here behind me.
Jack Jones, yeah.
He's right there.
Okay.
But then you got those 2 guys that are going to be probably taking a lot of snaps on that defense, once again, which is young and inexperienced. Now, those guys are super athletic, they're super fast, and they could work in the system well, but you're not going to bet your house on that they're going to come right in and do what J.C. Jackson did or do what Stephon Gilmore was able to do. And then, like... and then our new offensive coaches with Matt Patricia, the defensive guru, taking over as our offensive coordinator, basically, in a sense, him and Joe Judge, which I think Joe Judge is the quarterback's coach now. So those 2 guys, one defense, another one special teams, coming in and basically handed the keys to our offense with Mac Jones, Devontae Parker, Kendrick Bourne, Damian Harris. I mean, the offense isn't the weak part of our team so much. It's just defense wins championships, and that was proven when Tom Brady was here. We always had top 10 defenses when he was on our team and playing, and those were big factors on why we were able to do so good in the playoffs and make it to the Super Bowl and everything. But our offense won't be the weak point of our team. I think it could potentially rise a little bit with the added help of Devontae Parker. Devontae Parker and Damian Harris. Hopefully he can stay healthy, and then him, Ramondre Stevenson, and then also Pierre Strong that we drafted from North Dakota State, who's just a short, shifty running back that can come in there and take snaps. We love to run the football. So having those three guys that can come in there and all share reps like they always do, but the packed AFC conference, there's so many great teams in that AFC. We have to beat out the likes of the Chiefs, the Chargers, the Raiders, the Browns, potentially the Ravens, the Buffalo Bills, the Colts potentially, the Titans potentially. Like there's so many teams. There's like 12 to 13 to 14 like that's almost every team in the AFC that can be a contender for making the playoffs.
Right.
And like we're in the middle of that pack, and there's only 8 spots, so or 7 spots, right? 7 spots, yes, 3 wild cards. So I mean, you got to be the in that upper echelon of the AFC to make the playoffs, and I think our defense can hold us out in being in that mid tier for sure of being able to make the playoffs. So that's my take on it. If you guys have anything to add,
I would just say that when you see the polar shifts in like magnetics and stuff like that, you see a strong magnetic connectivity north to south, and then it takes like a year or two to kind of switch to south being facing north and all of that. So that's what I feel like with the Patriots is in the switch of life without Tom Brady. It's just taking a few years. They're good. I think no team wants to play the Patriots, but they can find themselves losing games. They do. I don't want to play the Patriots every day. But
not because what you guys have, it's because of what you guys have done for 20 years to people.
Yeah, but people don't we're not the same.
So they'll be good, and they'll be good this year. But they're a team that, like you said, they could just miss the playoffs. So.
And then I'll just add, they're having a QB controversy going on. You don't know who's really going to go out there and start between Mac Jones and Bailey Zappi, and that just doesn't spell.
Oh God.
But moving on to our next team, Mike, you kind of hit the head on the nail. All right, so we made a video about the Broncos. Okay, if you watch that, you kind of know where we're coming from. Okay?
Broncos country, let's ride.
Let's ride.
I would say for me, the biggest thing that you can take away from all of this is we believe that the expectations they have right now are above where their talent actually is. That's the biggest thing is people don't realize that they have lost a lot of their luster, and adding Russell Wilson isn't going to make up a lot of the things that they lost since the Manning days and everything.
Yeah, this isn't adding Peyton Manning to your team. This is not adding Peyton Manning to your team and that elite defense, right? Like the defense is good. It's around that above average range. We went in depth in it within our Broncos and Seahawks video, where the Seahawks defense that Russ has been working with is rather similar to what the Broncos defense is right now. And that's always been the complaint. Like if Russ had a good defense or Russ had a good offensive line, the offensive line is better, obviously, but not like miles better.
Yeah.
It's just a more competent offensive line. But like just rolling through those points really quick, you can see, right? Like the expectations, Dylan's already hit that. There's way high expectations. This is not the Peyton Manning team. The roster's overhyped. Like people are acting like this is like they just needed a quarterback and they're Super Bowl contenders. No. And then speaking of that quarterback, Russ has been on a decline the last few years. Like let Russ cook hasn't really been like cooking, really.
Yeah.
He does really great for the first 6 to 7 weeks, and then has the Kyler Murray effect where he just shuts down for the last half of the year. I don't mean Kyler Murray, I mean the Arizona Cardinals when I say that, my bad. And then not to mention, he's coming off of a thumb injury that hindered him all last year, and he played awful. Like even when he came back from injury, it was kind of bad to watch. This is a whole new head coach and GM. Whole new coaching staff, whole new offensive system for Russ and the entire team. So you're coming in there into a division that is arguably the best in football, where 2 of the top teams in there have great chemistry and have been together for a long time, and they're adding another year to that. And then you're going in there brand new everybody. I don't know. I don't see it being like what people are wanting it to make out to be. Yeah.
Yep.
Broncos fans are an avid fan base, and they're just excited because they finally got their quarterback, right? Because they cannot draft one to save their freaking life. So they just have to hope that they can get an all-star that's already proven to come in and
Yeah.
play quarterback. Yeah, I would put money on them not making the playoffs. I don't think that's unfair. I think the AFC is ridiculous. Everybody's schedule in the AFC is hard because
Yes.
everybody's good. And when you need every game possible, a hiccup trying to get everything going, that's not going to be very helpful. And then we don't have it up there, but they're wide receivers. Like
They're
Russ
good.
moving into this offense is not better than what they had
No.
weapons wise.
Not
Tyler
at all.
I'm
Lockett
sorry.
is better than all of them.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Tyler Lockett's not even better than DK Metcalf.
No.
Like I'm sorry. Like Tim Patrick might legitimately be your guys' best receiver, and you guys never talk about him.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
He's your
always
most
Cortland
consistent
Sutton.
good wide receiver. And Jerry Judy, yeah. I don't know.
Sutton's decent,
And-
but he's always injured.
And
Mhm.
right. And the biggest like bright spot I thought that the Broncos had was Javonte Williams. I think that guy's incredible. But they brought back Melvin Gordon, which is kind of like a irritation. Like man, like just let Javonte take over because he was like exploding.
Yeah.
But that's also a good thing because you got two guys that you can have a workhorse, and you see those guys that have those two running backs that have that committee that can work together. That's always a good thing. But it doesn't help when Russ is the quarterback because he's clearly had problems in his career running the football. He hates it. Like he just wants to throw the football. It's been something that his brand has been pushing out. And now you're going in with a brand new offense, new coach, new everything, where they're just going to want to accommodate and bring what Russ wants. I mean, I'm curious on how much Javonte and Melvin are not going to be as integral as they should be in that offense because of that. I see it being a bust, honestly.
I
That
do
is
as
my
well.
personal opinion. I've been wrong many times. My biggest one ever was the Josh Allen. I was adamant that guy was absolutely booty cheeks because I watched him play in college, and he
Oh, he
did
was.
everything to prove me wrong. He was, and he did everything to change and put in the work to become right. So you never know if the Broncos could put in the work and it work out. I just can see why they missed the playoffs. I don't think that's a stretch.
Yeah.
And then the
Again,
final team.
I was gonna say again, watch our Broncos video. We go in way more depth about it too.
Right.
I think the only counter
Because they're one of the hottest teams.
Yeah, I think one of the only counter arguments that someone could have to this is them trying to say, well, it's a whole new system, it's a whole new coaching staff. Like they like teams won't be able to figure it out right away. Like they don't know what's coming, blah blah. Like the Broncos might be able to pull a couple fast ones on people, whatnot. But how many times has that really ever happened in the NFL?
Yeah.
Like in
Well,
college, it's more common in college because like the talent level from the NFL down to college is still a significant jump or
Well, and
decline or whatever. But
you have the best minds in football scouting everyone every week.
yeah,
Usually by about week 10, everyone has seen what people have done to try and stop this, or what does and what doesn't work. Teams that are great are the ones that can make in-season adjustments
yep,
and can save their best plays, their best schemes, and their best
yeah,
stuff until the end of the season. And for Russell Wilson, that's never been the case. Maybe bringing in Aaron Rodgers, offensive coordinator, will help with that, but I'm not putting money on it.
yeah.
And then who's our final team that we've got?
Oh
here?
yeah, Cowboys. So
Heck yeah.
I kind of wrote up a lot of this one. So
Oh,
if you
man.
see Trayvon Diggs' name on there, you can come at me. I don't really care.
He's garbage.
But the Cowboys are seen as the favorite, I think, in the NFC by a lot of people. But you got to take into account these names on the screen. They lost Randy Gregory, a great, edge talent. Lael Collins.
Because you pissed him off and disrespected him, by the way, too. That's just kind of jacked up.
So and then they lost Lael Collins, which I think he was injured or old or something like that, but he's not there. You still have to fill that. Lost Amari Cooper, a great wide receiver.
Thank you, Cowboys fans. We really
Yeah.
do appreciate it. You see what everyone else is getting for their wide receivers, and we got Amari Cooper for a 5th-round pick.
Yeah.
It's okay. You got fleeced. It's okay. It's only
And then-
embarrassing for you guys.
And then you lost 3 other pretty significant role players with Cedric Wilson, Keanu O'Neal, and Omonte Casey. And really, all that you added was what you added in the draft. So you're losing talent on a team that has been losing talent for a while, mainly because you're paying Dak and Zeke so much money, and they're not really showing that they're worth every penny of their deal. I think Dak Prescott's a great quarterback, but that deal is hurting the franchise. And then, I mean, to bring up Trayvon Diggs, I mean, if he keeps on biting on every single route, yeah, he's going to get interceptions and stuff like that. But if he keeps on doing that, he's going to get played the fool, and he's going to end up on a lot of highlight tapes in the wrong way.
He already did last year.
And then he did last year. And then the other thing is the Cowboys, for the last 20 years have choked away so much that has been given to them. And they just are a franchise that a lot of people want to play for because you get a lot of the notoriety, they get a lot of the fans, it's fun to play there and everything like that. But you get an inflated ego sometimes. So that's my personal beef. You can come at me. I don't really care. But all in all, I mean, they don't have as talented as a roster as they had last year. Micah Parsons is a beast.
Yes.
That's for sure. No one's disagreeing with Cowboys fans there, but everywhere else you've gotten worse. And the Eagles are, they made the playoffs without a real quarterback, to be honest. And now you have to fight for a wild card spot, and there's a lot of good teams out there now too.
And it's not being talked about as much, but the reason why the Cowboys were as good as they were last year was because of their offense. Like, they had the best offense in the NFL, like, according to statistics, right? And you lost half of your offensive line, basically. They lost Connor Williams as well.
Oh, yeah.
You lost half your offensive line because you had to pay Zeke, who hasn't really been producing for you guys like he should, who, if anybody watches him, you can clearly see that he's lost that bursting step. Mm-hmm. Like, Tony Pollard coming into the game, you could see that, oh my gosh, there's an instant burst difference between the two that Zeke used to have. You got rid of Amari Cooper and Cedric Wilson because you weren't able to pay them because you're paying these other players. And Amari Cooper is one of the reasons why CeeDee Lamb was open to all the times, because Amari Cooper has to be respected. Cedric Wilson was coming in, and he was putting in really good minutes for you guys whenever Gallup got hurt. So now you're kind of, you put a lot of money back into Gallup, who's just coming off of a really bad injury that happened towards the end of the year, so you might not even have him back to start the year. Yeah, and I just don't... I think that they are going to decline, and it's not like they were really high up in the first place. Yes. And the one positive thing they had was that offense, and that offense took a big hit. And I'm not a Dak Prescott hater. I like Dak Prescott. But Dak Prescott in his entire career has always had an embarrassment of riches on the offensive side for weapons. I'm curious on what's going to happen when his offensive line isn't the best offensive line of football. When he doesn't have 3 legitimate wide receivers. When he doesn't have a top-tier running back like Zeke running the ball for him every time. Because we'll see.
Dalton Schultz.
Dalton Schultz is good. Dalton Schultz started to pick up last year, which is why I'm probably sure that they were kind of okay with the way things were going. But
yeah,
the Cowboys clearly didn't read the same playbook and rules that the Rams did, where you're able to turn Cap off if you do things right.
Yeah.
Well, they need to get a real GM.
Yes. And stop letting Jerry Jones just do whatever he wants. Granted, it's all his money. He's earned it. And if he wants to control his team the way he wants to control his team, more power to him. But yeah, I think the Cowboys could miss the playoffs. I think they're a sleeper. It's a little bit more of a stretch because they are in the NFC, and you could really make it in the playoffs pretty easily that route. And then also you're in the NFC East, where you can suck and be under 500 to make the playoffs basically. So we should see. But we had to put in one NFC team in there.
Yeah.
But that is it for the teams that could miss the playoffs. If you guys have made it to the end of the video, again, make sure you guys hit that like button, smash the subscribe button, turn that noti bell on so you guys are notified when we put out more videos bashing on the Cowboys, because who doesn't love bashing the Cowboys?
I know I do.
You guys have yourself a great day.
Peace out.